Hey, welcome to the Snow MTG opening. Sorry, I've been a bit quiet because I've been down with COVID. So I didn't manage to go to my LGS to pick up my commander decks for Streets of New Capenna, as well as the bundle. But I went online, ordered a couple things. My LGS didn't ship, so I had to order from Amazon. Sorry, guys. Got a couple of fun things. Dungeon Mayhem, which is a D&D card game. Kind of a bit like Munchkin. And also got one of these Pioneer decks, the Lotus Field Combo. Arrived a bit battered up, can you see? Deck was all crushed. It was put in little, I guess one of those envelopes with a bit of bubble wrap in it. That's it. But anyway, what's important, why I wanted to showcase this Pioneer deck is that Pioneer is back, baby. So Pioneer is a format that was dying. Nobody was playing it. COVID happened. Wizards released these decks, and then there was just no support for Pioneer at all. And now they've actually tried to bring it back with a vengeance by saying that it's going to be part of the Pro Tour and on the road to the new Pro Tour format. To that extent, they're also trying to encourage Pioneer play on Magic the Gathering Arena with an Explorer format, which allows you to play all Pioneer legal cards that have been released for Arena to date. While you won't be able to get a lot of the decks that are archetypes, you do get a sense of Pioneer and Arena. Anyway, so I'm going to open one of the more fun decks, not so much from a value perspective. This is about, you can get this from Amazon for about $30, $40 US. It's got about $60 worth of cards. But as you can see, as I open it, it is mostly commons and uncommons, so kind of cheap. So Lotus Field Combo Deck, slay it with the flowers, it says. So this is a really pure combo deck. It says, build a stockpile of resources, then take the game in a single turn, make tons of mana, draw tons of cards, and win instantly with Approach of the Second Sun. So here we go, let's check it out. This has got a nice foil finish. Too bad the internal deck box is crushed. I'm going to put that aside. You can see here, you've got a little deck box, paper, so I don't think this will last very long. If you saw my standard Challenger deck, it's very similar, except this one's got a nice, beautiful foil finish. Looking inside, there's a filler that fills up the space so you can sleeve the cards. And then you've got the deck itself and the sideboard. So these are tournament ready, FNM ready. Well, I don't know about tournament ready. You couldn't take it to a tournament, whether you win, TBD. So you've got the sideboard and you've got the full deck. And you've got a little bit of a pullout, talking a little bit about the Pioneer format and the 4 decks in the series. You've got Blue-White Spirits, you've got Orzhov Auras, you've got Mono Red Burn, and you've got Lotus Field Combo Stonecoil Serpent at the back. They don't really tell you how the deck works, so you need to kind of figure it out going online deck tech. But I can talk to you a little bit about it. There's going to be a bit of glare, so I'll do my best to angle it so you don't see it. So let's start with the main deck first. As you can see here, it's wrapped. Let me try to find a way to open it without destroying the cards. So we've got a tear strip here. Oh, actually it just opens at bottom. Here we go. It's quite loose. Let's see. Come on. Okay, let's go. So the deck itself wants to play something called Lotus Field. It's we'll come to it, make lots of mana, and then do lots of shit to win. So you've got 3 Fae of Wishes. This is a rare from Throne of Eldraine. It's got 2 sides to it. One of it's the creature, which comes as a 1/4 flying, and you can pay 1 blue, discard 2 cards, and return this to your hand. The other one's a wish. So 3 and a blue, you can choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game, meaning a sideboard. Reveal it, put in your hand. So that's to find your combo piece. So you got 3 of those. 3 should be enough. Masterminds Acquisition. This is a tutor, demonic tutor type effect. It says choose one, search your library for a card, then put it in your hand and shuffle your library. Or you can choose a card you own from outside the game and put it in your hand. So you can tutor for pieces on both ends. You've got one of that. Now this is a really key card. And one of the pieces that you'll be finding, because when you generate lots of mana with your Lotus Field, you want to cast this on yourself. It might seem like a bit, what? Something you do to your opponents, but do it for yourself. Because you draw half cards equal to half the number of cards in your library, and then lose half your life, round up each time. So pretty much for 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, you'll be drawing easily 20 cards, 15 cards. So you should be able to combo out, and love the art as well. Check this out. Infinite, you're going infinite, a guy eating his own head. Okay, so you got Peer and Abyss, one of those. 2 of those. Dig Through Time, love this card. This is actually banned in some formats, and really powerful draw card spell because you'll be casting a lot of cantrips, casting a lot of spells to churn through your deck to find your combo pieces, cycling through, and when you have a stacked graveyard, you can just pay 2 blue, dig 7 cards deep, and take 2 to find the combo piece. So this was from Khans of Tarkir. It was worth a bit, and then it's come down now. So we've got 2 Dig Through Time. Now this is the namesake card. I'll look at that. I love that they've given 4 because this will not work without 4 of these. Lotus Field is a beautiful land. What it does is it enters the battlefield tap. It's hexproof, so you can't really target to destroy it. And when it enters the battlefield, sack 2 lands, but you can tap it to add 3 mana of any color. So it's pretty much a Black Lotus on a land with some downsides. So earliest you can come in is probably turn 3, and you kind of end up going, you don't do much on that turn. You cast a spell, tap out, and then you sack 2 lands and then play this, and then turn 4 onwards you go off. This is really important. It is going to be your Lotus Field number 5 to 8. So Thespian Stage is an interesting combo piece that's been played in some of the decks out there, like Dark Depths, to make Marit large. So what it does, it's got an interesting ability to untap Thespian Stage, becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. So what it does, it copies the Lotus Field, but it doesn't need to be sacrificed because the sack effect is when it enters the battlefield, sack 2 lands. So when you've actually used Thespian Stage to copy a Lotus Field that's on the field, you don't need to sack it because that clause is not on the card, the Thespian Stage. So that's kind of cool. And then you got a couple of Simic lands to help you with your mana base. I like that they've given 4 of these. They've given 4 2 temple lands, so this helps you scry and dig a bit deeper. But honestly, I think they should have given Botanical Sanctum. You might also want to upgrade these with the pathway lands, just so that you can make sure you hit your mana, because stumbling on your mana could really screw you over. This is an interesting card as well. It's a ramp card. It enters the battlefield. You may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Unfortunately, you can't put Lotus Field because the Lotus Field. Oh, actually, you can. It enters tap. When it enters the battlefield, sack 2 lands. I think you might be able to place the Lotus Field. I'm not sure. I need to check. Or if you don't meet the clause, you might not. I will have to check that. I'll come back. Clarifications in the chat. Anyway, so this is also a great speed bump for burn decks. A 0-3 body can easily block your Gitu Larva runners and Pioneer, any of your 1-1 creatures. And it also lets you ramp, and it's a good turn 1 play. Great, fantastic first turn 1 play. You got Vizier, 4 Vizier of Tumbling Sands. This one is used to churn through your deck a little bit more. So you're not going to be really casting it as a 3 mana 1/3. Although it's quite useful when it does tap to untap target permanent, but it needs to survive, of course. But what's more important is you most likely be cycling it. When you cycle it, you untap target permanent. So you cycle, you draw a card, you untap Lotus Field, and suddenly you're up by 1 mana. 2 mana actually. So you tap Lotus Field for 3, cycle this for 2. Untap Lotus Field, suddenly you have 4 mana, and you draw a card as well. So really good card. And you've got your mana base, you've got your usual forests and islands. I'll put that on the side. You got a couple of ops to dig through your deck. Now you can, you got to always change out your cantrip set. I think there's another one called, there's one that lets you, not strategic planning. I'll go through the cantrips first. Strategic planning here, 1 and a blue. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand, rest in your graveyard. This helps fuel Dig Through Time. There's another one that lets you dig 4 cards deep on a sorcery speed, 1 in a blue. Dig 4 cards deep and put 1 card in your hand. That card is, what's it? I cannot remember the name of it. I think it's Shimmer of Possibility, and it came out in Ravnica Allegiance. And then you've got a really important card, Hidden Strings here. This lets you make more mana. So 1 in a blue, you may tap or untap target permanent, then you may tap or untap another target permanent. So you can kind of untapping, you can untap 2 Lotus Fields and be net quite far ahead. I think 5 mana ahead, if I can do the math right. I might be wrong. Also, don't forget the Cipher ability. Cipher is an interesting keyword that's not being used very much because it's a little bit confusing. Basically, when you cast this, you can Cipher. You exile this spell, encode it to a creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. So the only real creature you can hit with is this and the Fae of Wishes. So you could cipher it onto one of these. On the rare occasion, the Fae's got evasion. You might be able to hit your opponent and then hidden strings and generate mana. This is a great tutor. Sylvan Scrying, one of my favorite tutor for land cards, being played in a lot of decks that may help you find lands. You can search your library for land card, reveal it, put in your hand, and shuffle your library. So really key piece to find your Lotus Field. And then you got 4 Paw of the Pages. This is great. Sorcery Speed, it says for 5 mana, draw 3 cards, untap 2 lands, and then discard a card. So what happens is, with Lotus Field out, you can pay 5, you draw 3, and then you can tap 2 Lotus Fields or Lotus Field and a Thespian Stage copy. For 6 mana, cast 5, untap, and then you're up 1 mana. You still have 1 mana left, you get 3 cards, and then you can tap for 6 again. So you're kind of just digging through your deck. So that's that. But the question is, how do you win? Good question, you might be asking. Let's look in our sideboard. That's where our win con is. Our win cons live in the sideboard. And you find them through your Masterminds Acquisition, your Fae of Wishes, and you dig to find these pieces. So you've got, obviously, All-Star Omniscience. If you've got lots of mana, this, oh, it's damaged. Can you have a look at the cards here? Oh, Wizards. Man, this is horrible. QC, I don't know whether it's the shipping or it's just bad out of the box. Come on, Wizards, really annoying. Anyway, so Omniscience, it's a really powerful card. You may cast spells from your hand without paying your cost. So if you're generating lots of mana, you can drop Omniscience, Peer into the Abyss, draw lots of cards, and just keep playing them for free. You got another Peer into the Abyss, which you can tutor out with Masterminds or Fae of Wishes, just so you can actually find a piece. Here's another win con. Came out in, oh look, it's got a different symbol. This is unique to these decks, but this came out in Amonkhet. So 6 and a white, if this spell was cast from your hand and you've cast a spell named Approach of the second sun, this game you win. Otherwise, put it on your library 7 from top and gain 7 life. Basically, you want to be able to tutor this out, cast this, and then dig through your library, draw lots of cards, and then cast it, and then the second time, and you win. So that's your win cons. You've got a couple of decks. You got Sweltering Suns for sideboarding in against those aggro decks. Although I do think that Anger of the Gods is better because it exiles the creatures. You can't really bring them back. You can't. So that's why it's really better than Sweltering Suns. Even though Sweltering Suns has the cycle clause, don't think you'll be cycling it. This is good for the control matchup, but you've got Shifting Ceratops, can't be counted, Pro Blue, and then you can give it haste 5/4, or you can reach a trample if you pay a green. So you got 2 of those. Got something for the control matchup. So really it's a bit heavy. You might want to think about putting in Inquisition or Thoughtseize, more of those. Thought Distortion for Black. The spell can't be counted. Target opponent reveals a hand, exile all non-creature, non-land cards from the player's hand and graveyard. So can't be counted. If you let lots of mana and just tear out their hand to pieces, got 2 of those, 3 of those. And then you got Void Snare, which is a generic save all, bounce something, a hate piece. Maybe if you got something that, like Deafening Silence, you might want to use Void Snare to bounce it. Same thing with Blink of an Eye, bounce. Tormod's Crypt is for Izzet decks, anything that uses the graveyard. What else? I think Phoenix decks, you want to use this. And then you got Negate, more counter magic, Wilt, enchantment removal. So the sideboard's okay. I mean, it can be improved. I can see a couple of ways to improve it with some upgrades. So I think this deck is really powerful out of the box. One of the notable Storm players, Brian Cook, he did a deck tech on how to play this deck and win out of the box. And he did really well in a league on MTG I think it went 3-2, stumbled on mana a bit. But what you want to do is upgrade your mana base to make sure that you've got the Botanical Sanctums. You want to play another card called Emergent Ultimatum. So Emergent Ultimatum is from a really big spell, flashy spell from Ikoria. It's 2 black, 3 green, and 2 blue. And what it does is that it lets you search a library for up to 3 monocolored cards with different names, exile them. Opponent chooses one of those cards, shuffle that card in your library. You may cast the other cards without paying for their mana cost. So what you can do is, if your main deck has some win cons, like a single Omniscience, for example, Peer and Abyss, you can kind of dig for all of that and then cast Emergent Ultimatum. The other upgrade that you really want is Balaget Recovery. It's a flip land, a dual side land from Zendika. That one is a regrowth on it. So on one side, you can come in and play tapped and it taps a green, or for 2 and a black, 2 and a green, sorry, you can return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's one of the must-have upgrades. I think that's uncommon, but it's about $5, so a little bit expensive, but really worth it. Just to get back some combo pieces that might be counted, or maybe you got milled. What else? I think so. You might want to upgrade the strategic planning with Shimmer from Possibility. What else? You might want to put a Blast Zone in there. Blast Zone is a good catch-all utility land. It's a land from War of the Spark. It lets you add counters and then tap to destroy permanents, so problematic permanents. You can find it with Sylvan Scrying. So that's a really good utility land. I think you can spend easily $20-$40, upgrade that, the cost of the deck. For the sideboard, I recommend Anger of the Gods. You can put in Memory Deluge, it lets you dig and also flashback. You might want to put in Galvanic Iteration. It's also from Shadows of Innistrad. I think what it does, it lets you copy spells. So just double. You might want to put Mystical Disputes. 9 Lives is a possibility. Supreme Verdicts, Ugins, if you're making lots of mana. Spirit Dragon. Lots of options to do this deck, but a lot of the times it's not super interactive. You just want to throw a speed bump. You just want to make sure that you dig for your spells and find the combo pieces. Yep, sorry about that. And I think I really like this deck. It's not for everyone, but I think it's one of the most competitive out of the box, and this is still tier 1. I think Burn lost Lurus, and that makes it a little bit harder. So if you're looking for a really challenger deck that's got game for FNM and for the Pro Tour to come, I do recommend you get the Lotus Field Combo deck. It's probably one of the more powerful and valid tier decks in the format at the moment. So there you go. Support your LGS if you can. Otherwise, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll crack this on another stream another time. This is a bit of a long one, but I hope you enjoyed the deck tech. See you. Bye.